Hey y'all, it's me, the Nosy Goddess, aka the $1 Trillion Goddess, aka Goddess Dawn, okay? What a day for your President Trump, child. The Supreme Court has delivered a major blow to President Donald Trump, your president, not mine, ruling today, Friday, February 20th, that he exceeded his authority when he imposed sweeping tariffs using a law reserved for a national emergency. Now, according to inside sources, your president had a total fit when this ruling came down. Check this out.
Yeah, Pamela, we still have no official reaction from the White House or President Trump.
Oh, yes, we do. And it is something. It's coming up next. Don't go nowhere.
Waiting. I am told that they are meeting, discussing how they are going to respond. But we have learned more about what happened in the room when President Trump was with those governors and he learned of the Supreme Court decision. Apparently, the breakfast had been going well. They were working together. And then President Trump became enraged. He started ranting about the decision, not only calling it a disgrace, but started attacking the courts, at one point saying these effing courts, but using the actual language there. We know that President Trump does use expletives on quite often when he is enraged in particular. Now, this, of course, comes as this tariff policy. This could not be a bigger decision for President Trump. This could not be a bigger loss for President Trump. Not only is so much of his economic agenda based on these tariffs, so much of his foreign policy is based on these tariffs. He has used these tariffs as leverage in almost every meeting that he has had around the world. He has touted them as the most important part of the economic agenda. So clearly a huge loss, and he recognizes that today.
And this is why Trump refused to take a question from CNN after the press conference and called them fake news in front of the world. It's not the first time he's done that, but yeah, they be on him. It's safe to say they're not MAGA. Now back to the Supreme Court and their ruling on Trump's tariffs. The justices, divided 6-3, held that Trump's aggressive approach to tariffs on products entering the United States from across the world was not permitted under a 1977 law called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA. Now, he has since responded to the Supreme Court's decision, and I have that here. Listen to this lunatic. Sorry. Don't strike me down, YouTube, but my opinion, okay? Listen to how he bashes Biden. He bashes previous presidents. He blames the Supreme Court for not being patriotic enough. He then lets us know this Supreme Court action don't mean a damn thing. Listen to him yourself and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Oh, and you're going to hear some commentary from Brian Tyler Cohen on YouTube as well.
All right, here we go. We've got Trump here for this emergency presser. Let's listen in to hear what he has to say.
Wow, got a lot of people. That's a new record. We set a record every time. Well, thank you very much for being here. The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh.
And listen to how many times Trump credits these three justices, and especially Kavanaugh,
for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long. That I can assure you.
And here he is doubling down on his now officially illegal tariffs.
The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests.
I think this is pot calling kettle black. What do you think?
It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement. I won by millions of votes. We won in a landslide. With all the cheating that went on, there was a lot of it, but we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig.
Oh, come on. At this point, he's trolling. Okay?
But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud. And I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security. And also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important, because we're doing so well as a country. We've never done so well. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and authorities, as recognized by the entire court in this terrible decision, and also as recognized by Congress, which they refer to, that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs available to me as President of the United States. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how they're very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election.
He's doing the Pam Bondi meme right now. The
Think
Dow's
of that.
at 50,000.
Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year. They said you'll never be able. You'll go back and you read the geniuses, read their statements. All of the Nobel Prize winners in economics, they said, no, you couldn't do it in 4 years. Well, we didn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. We broke every record in the book, and we're continuing to do so. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not.
So here's the part where he tries to convince us that the tariffs have saved us so many times from war. And I'm sure he's going to give us some other reasons why we have to have them in place.
Including India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some bad things, but they've given us great national security, these tariffs have, and together with our strong borders, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30%. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison into our country to poison our youth.
Ooh, another big one, fentanyl. It's dropped fentanyl sales by 30%, these tariffs.
All of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. We're still getting them.
So essentially, he's throwing his middle finger up to the Supreme Court and to us taxpayers who he has basically been robbing with his illegal tariffs and
But
sanctions.
again, those three people, such respect. I've had a lot of respect for them anyway, but such great respect. But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so.
So he's going to go around the Supreme Court ruling and use other methods and alternatives to do what he's been doing, taxing and putting tariffs on these countries, which is actually coming out of our pockets again. So he's threatening to do worse is what he's doing. He's like a child throwing a tantrum at this point. Unbelievable. And aside from that, he's bragging about how great the economy is, better than ever. We've been taking in hundreds of millions of dollars because of these tariffs. But yet, we, the American people, haven't seen a dime of them. Have we seen any money? I haven't seen any money. I haven't seen any money from all these hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, from
To show you how
from American
ridiculous the
consumers.
opinion
It's
is,
a tax on
however.
Americans.
The court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries. Certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1.
Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this?
I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says.
He's just learning in real time that Congress has the ability to impose tariffs, not him.
But I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee.
I know you heard that. He admitted to being allowed to destroy the country, whether he meant to say it or not. It's the truth as well.
Well, there's a Freudian
But I
slip there.
cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision.
Okay, approved by who exactly? Are we not talking about a Supreme Court ruling that said that your tariffs were illegal? Now, who is approving the alternatives that are so much more powerful? Answer me that.
For those that thought they had us. And they're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the idea that I can license, just like the people that were opposing me told them to do, but not the right to charge a license fee. Think of that. Who ever heard of such a thing? What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? You get a license, you charge a fee. It's automatic.
Are you okay?
Not with this court. But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, to destroy foreign countries.
And this is the type of talk, the type of language that is so dangerous. He's enticing these countries to come against us. He wants to use these words, destroy, and that, he has all of this power. And it is very dangerous to us as a people, as a country.
But a much more powerful right than many people ever thought we even had, but not the right to charge a fee. How crazy is that? Our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world right now.
And here we are trying to use slang that is not appropriate for the situation. When you say we're the hottest country, when we say we're hot or that's hot or he or she is hot, it's a good thing. It is a positive thing. But us as a country being hot right now is not the same. It's more like the block is hot. It is the wrong type of attention. Okay? Get it straight.
And it was a dead country 1.5 years ago under an incompetent president. But now I'm going to go in a different direction, probably the direction that I should have gone the first time, but I read the language. I'm very good at reading language, and it read our way 100%. But now I'll go the way I could have gone originally, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh, whose stock has gone so you have to see. I'm so proud of him.
I should note real quick, as Trump says, we're the hottest country in the world. Fourth quarter GDP is up just 1.4%. These people have been bragging that we're going to see 5, 6, 7, 8% GDP
tariffs
growth.
going forward.
1.4%.
So, think of that. The decision might not substantially constrain. And it doesn't, he's right. In fact, I can charge much more than I was charging. So I'm going to just start. Although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That's because
it definitely does.
Other federal statutes, which is so true, authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Even more tariffs, actually. Those statutes include, think of that, those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232. All of these things I know so well. The Trade Act of 1974, Sections 122, 201, 301. And the Tariff Act of 1930, Section 338, all clear. But it's a little bit longer process. I thought I'd make things simple, but they didn't let us do that. I would like to thank Justice Kavanaugh for frankly, his genius and his great ability. Very proud of that appointment. In actuality, while I am sure that they did not mean to do so, the Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and more crystal clear rather than less. I don't think they meant that. I'm sure they didn't. It's terrible. And to think that the Democrats who oppose this only because they want to go the opposite way, they'd like to pack the court. They want to put on 21 people. They want to pack the court, pack the Supreme Court. Maybe they should do it. Maybe they would be better off if they did it.
And here Trump is being insecure about the fact that he's going to lose a lot of power, most likely, after these upcoming midterms. So it's showing his fear and his lunacy is coming through because of it.
They want to pack the court. They want to do anything to hurt our country. There will no longer be any doubt, and the income coming in and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. I don't think the court meant that, but it's the way it is. Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories, and even, as I was pointed out before, even thousands of victories over the years, to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs.
And of course, he wants to make sure we understand that he still has power despite the ruling by the Supreme Court. He is really literally breaking down why they can't hold him down.
And essentially, it's used to get a fee. I can do anything I want with IEEPA. Anything. I just can't charge anybody for it. I can license, I just can't charge them. It's ridiculous, but it's okay because we have other ways, numerous other ways. The ability to block, embargo, restrict, license, or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under IEPA has been fully confirmed by this decision. So now there's no doubt, because, there were a lot of questions about tariffs because no president was smart enough to use them to protect our country from those countries and businesses that were ripping us off. You took a look at the deficits that we had with some of these countries.
He has no idea what he's saying. This doesn't hurt other countries. It's a tariff. A tariff is a tax on American consumers. American consumers pay these tariffs. And if he wants to impose tariffs, it's up to Congress to do it.
In order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged.
Oh, boy.
And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies.
And boom, there you have it, a 10% global tariff tax. Do you hear that? And I'm sure he's not done. Insanity.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. And I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time, make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that, but I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us.
Another threat.
If you have a few questions, you can let us know. But just to end, so we're going forward, we will be able to take in more money, and there'll no longer be doubt, because there was always doubt. I know the people that brought the lawsuit, and, they're sleazebags, major sleazebags, but I know them, and they're foreign country centric. They were sending things into our country, and the people representing them knew full well, but they were sending things into our country, and they were beneficial to other countries, but very, very bad for us. And I stopped it, and we'll just keep it going. So we have a totally firm decision now, and I don't think the court meant it, because the court doesn't show great spirit toward our country, in my opinion. A lot of bad decisions, but there are usually ways around it. This is something we could have done, as Justice Kavanaugh said, we could have done this originally, but we're doing it now, and the numbers could be far greater than the hundreds of billions we've already taken in.
If we played a drinking game for as many times he mentioned Justice Kavanaugh, I know for me, I would be sloshed, maybe even knocked out sleep at this point. But this press conference was comedic. I don't usually even watch his press conferences, to be honest, but I wanted to see his reaction to his tariffs being ruled illegal, unconstitutional, and the fact that he's been waiting on this decision for so long. He's been banking on these tariffs, I think, fattening his pockets, because I don't see where else the money is going. All this money he's bragging about, what is he doing with this money? As far as I can tell, he's done a lot of cutting of programs, cutting of staff, cutting of departments, all kinds of cutting. Now he's saying we're gaining. So there should be a massive amount of surplus to us taxpayers, right? So the rest of this press conference, him answering questions, he's cherry picking the reporters he's talking to, as always, being very rude to the ones he is not choosing, the ones who speak thinking he chose them. You know, he's very unpresidential, unprofessional, rude, uncharismatic. I can go on. I don't understand, what is it going to take for these lawmakers? You know, shout out to the Supreme Court, okay, first and foremost, but there needs to be more. We need to do more. Things need to be done. You know, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, a lawmaker. Maybe I should be. But somebody do something. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, bye.